Hello, and welcome to practice. Today is all about deep release and building strength in the shoulders. We are going to focus on opening the chest, the shoulders, and then towards the end of class, learning how to build strength in a productive way in our practice. Tension in the shoulders signifies this heavy emotional weight that we tend to carry, maybe the weight of responsibility. So, as we move and learn to work with the body, we learn how to be stronger in order to carry the responsibility and the weight that we really do need to carry, and then learn to let go of the extra weight that we actually don't. Our minds think we need to carry it, but in reality, we don't. In yoga, we call this apangarya, the letting go, the learning of not grasping and not attaching to things and holding on and building more, but allowing the things that can be let go to let go. During our practice, we will also be working with stira and sukha, the strength, stira of each pose that we need, and sukha, where we can find ease and softness within the body in each pose. So we're not grasping onto the pose, but with strength and ease, we're allowing the pose to unfold. In today's practice, you may want 2 blocks and a strap. If you don't have blocks, I love the cork blocks. There will be a link down in the description that you can grab those. And then I'm going to use the essential oil Deep Relief from Young Living. If you do not have this oil, you can grab any type of minty oil, because the intention is really to help open and deeply relieve the tension in the muscles during this practice. If you don't have an essential oil at all, no worries. You can still practice with us. As we breathe in the oil, you just focus on your breath. All right, let's get started. Starting by grounding into our intention, bringing awareness into the body. We're going to take a couple drops of oil, rub the hands together, and take 3 deep inhales. Grounding your energy and focus down into the body. You can bring your oil or just your hands and massage the neck, bringing awareness to how the neck and the shoulders feel at the beginning of practice. Once you feel satisfied, allow the hands to rest into the lap and just take a couple more breaths here to center, ground. Allow the shoulders to release down the back. And on your next inhale, fluttering the eyes open if they've been closed, we'll come into Paschimottanasana, our seated forward fold. Extending the legs out in front of you, flexing the toes, bringing some strength in the feet. Hands down by the sides. Inhale, draw some length. And on this first exhale, simply forward fold. You can take a little more yin variation here. Hands can be down, they can be on the ankles, maybe to the feet. And just breathe. Bringing awareness into the body. How does the body feel in this first pose? Allow the head to curl down here, releasing the back of the neck. Couple more breaths. Starting to activate the low belly, pulling the low belly back, reaching the heart forward as the hamstrings and back open. On your next inhale, slowly bringing yourself back up. And exhale, we're going to bend into the knees and come on to the knees. If you need extra padding, you can always grab a blanket. We're going to start with the toes curled under. If this is too much for our knees, you can also put a blanket in between the thighs and the shins. Opening up the back of the body. We're going to start off with a tricep stretch. So inhaling both arms up overhead, and then exhale, holding on to the right elbow, grounding the back of the head into the right forearm. And breathe, bringing awareness to your shoulder and your triceps. Noticing if you're getting a deep arch to the back, and slowly hugging the belly in. Not forcing in these first few poses, but simply bringing awareness. One more breath here. On your next inhale, reaching both arms up, and exhale will come to the left side. Taking a few more breaths. Breathing. Long inhales, long exhales. On your next inhale, reaching both arms up. Exhale, releasing the hands back behind you. If you can maintain the toes curled under, do so. If not, you can uncurl and come down onto the tops of the feet or back onto your seat. And then see if you can draw some length. If the elbows stay bent here, that's okay. Breathe into the heart. Open up. One more breath. We'll visit this pose quite a bit during practice today. On your next inhale, releasing the arms, we're going to come into a deltoid stretch. So bringing right arm across the body, hooking it with the left. You can stay here, or if you have a little more depth, you can come into eagle arms. But we want to bring those eagle arms over to the left, so we feel a nice deep opening all in the deltoids here. Let's take 3 more breaths wherever you're at. On your next inhale, unwind, open up the arms, open up the heart, little back bend here. And then exhale, we'll bring it over to the left, hooking left arm. Staying here, or if you have more space, you can take your eagle arms, but we want to bring those arms over to the right to get that nice deltoid stretch on the left side of the shoulder. On your next inhale, unwinding, opening up, maybe a little back bend here. And then exhale, round it in, hands forward, push it away, little cat. Inhale back to neutral. We're going to come onto the hands and knees and make our way into Anahatasana, puppy pose, keeping the knees underneath the hips, walking the hands out. And then when you're ready, your heart can start to drop. Maybe a block needs to come under the forehead, or maybe the forehead can come all the way down onto the mat. Use the abdominals to lift your hips up and back. Breathe into the shoulders. One more breath. Ground into the hands. Inhale, coming back up. Walking the hands in, we'll take our first Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog, curling the toes under, and when you're ready, lifting the hips up and back. If you would like to take some movement here, you can. You can start to pedal out the feet. Maybe you want to sway into the hips. Let's take 2 more breaths. Find stillness if you're ready. Next breath, inhale, come high on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees and step the feet up to the front of the mat, coming into Uttanasana, your forward fold. You can let the head and the neck be soft. Interlace the pinkies and opposite elbows and play with rocking your weight into the balls of the feet a little more. Checking in with the shoulders, allowing them to be relaxed here. On your next exhale, releasing the hands if you have them interlaced. Take a nice generous bend into the knees and slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae, coming all the way to standing. Once you've arrived into Tadasana, your mountain pose, take some shoulder rolls, opening up a little bit more. And finding stillness. All right, let's start to flow and activate. Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, lift the arms high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step your feet back, high plank, lower down, chaturanga. Knees can come down on this first one or for all of them. Uncurl the toes, inhaling up dog or cobra. And exhale, lifting the hips up and back, down dog. We'll take 5 breaths here. Maintaining those long inhales and exhales, pushing away with the hands. One more breath. On your next inhale, coming high on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees and step the feet up to the front of the mat. You can take multiple steps. Inhaling, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale and fold. Inhale, ground into the feet, lift it all the way up, arms up overhead. And exhale, release the hands down to Tadasana. Good. 2 more. Inhale, lifting high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, lower down, chaturanga. Inhaling up, exhaling back. 5 breaths in your down dog once you arrive. One more breath. On your next inhale, coming high on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees and step the feet up to the front of the mat. Inhaling, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale and fold. Inhale, ground into the feet, rise it all the way up. And then exhale, release the hands down. One more. Inhale, riding the breath up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step the feet back, lower down. Inhaling up, dog or cobra. Exhaling up and back, down dog. Breathe. Reconnecting with the breath. Checking in with the shoulders, so we're pushing the hands in. Shoulders may creep up towards the ears, and that's okay. We're trying to keep the neck soft while the shoulders stay engaged, but not overly activated. Balancing out that stira, the strength needed for your down dog. And sukha, where can you relax and find ease in your down dog? One more breath. On your next inhale, coming high on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees and step the feet up to the front of the mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, ground into the feet. Rise it all the way up. And then exhale, release the hands down. Let's keep flowing. We're going to inhale, Uttanasana, chair pose. Sink down into the knees. Lift the arms. We're going to find a little more arm activation. On your next exhale, right arm's going to drop down. Palm will flip back. We're going to come into cow face arms. I'm going to turn back sideways so you can see me. All right, take one more breath here. On your next inhale, release the arms, lifting them both up high. Exhale, other side. Left arm comes back, right arm drops in. If fingers don't touch, that's okay. One more breath here. I know the quads are working. Inhale, unwind, lift up. On your exhale, straighten the arms. We're going to clasp the hands behind us. On your inhale, see if you can straighten through the elbows a little bit. Lift the heart, little back bend if possible. On your next exhale, we're going to forward fold. Arms can stay really bent here if the shoulders are tight, but as everything opens, maybe you can start to straighten the arms. One more breath here. You can always use a strap if needed. On your next inhale, we'll release the arms with control and come into your halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step the feet back, flow through your vinyasa. Exhale, lower down. Inhaling up, exhaling back. On your next inhale, right foot's going to come forward into your pyramid pose. So we're going to straighten through the right knee. If you need to bring the ground a little closer to you, grab your blocks. Breathe into that hamstring. And then you can exhale, forward fold. One more breath here. On your next inhale, lifting yourself back up, we're going to bend into that right knee, coming into your warrior one. Lifting up once the legs feel stable, lifting arms up. Arms can be wide if the shoulders are tight. We want the shoulders relaxed down here as the triceps activate and lift the arms. As everything opens, maybe we can make contact with the hands. One more deep inhale, draw length. On your exhale, float the hands down. We're going to clasp them again. Inhale, maybe a little back bend, open up the heart. You can stay here, or exhale, come into your humble warrior with the right shoulder tracking on the inside of the right thigh. Maybe take a deeper bend. Let the head and the neck go as the arms work and the shoulders activate to open. On your next inhale, ground into the feet. Lift it all the way up. Release the arms. Arms come high. On your next exhale, we're going to float it down. Step it back. Flow through your vinyasa. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. We'll come onto the left side. Bringing left foot forward. Grounding down through the right heel. Using your blocks if you need blocks. If not, if you don't have blocks, bend the knee just a little bit. Breathe into that hamstring. On your next exhale, you can forward fold and we'll stay. One more breath here. On your next inhale, we're going to bend into the left knee, setting up for Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Ground into the feet. Once you have your foundation, lift the arms high. Breathe. Maybe gaze can travel up. One more breath. On your next exhale, hands are going to float down behind you. Clasp the hands. Inhale, gain some space here. And then on your exhale, we'll come into humble warrior. Breathe. Allow the neck to be soft, the head to be free. One more breath. On your next inhale, unwind, lift it up, release the arms. Arms come up. And then exhale, float it down. Step it back, flow through your vinyasa. Exhaling chaturanga. Inhaling up dog. Exhaling down dog. 5 breaths. On your next inhale, we'll come high on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees and step or hop the feet forward, coming into your halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhaling Utkatasana, sink down into the knees. We're coming up, chair pose. Take a breath here. And then on your exhale, straighten through the legs, Tadasana. Let's do that again, a little faster this time. Inhaling Utkatasana, chair pose. On your exhale, right hand drops back, coming into cow face arms. Stay for a breath. On your next inhale, lift both arms up. Exhale, other side. Stay for a breath. On your next inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, straighten through the legs. Arms drop back, clasp the hands. Inhale, find some length. Stay for a breath. On your next exhale, we'll take forward fold. Stay for a breath. Inhale, release the arms, come up halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, flow through your vinyasa. Exhaling chaturanga. Inhaling up dog. Exhale, down dog, setting up for pyramid pose. Inhale, right foot forward. If it gets stuck halfway, give it some help out. Exhale, ground through the left heel. Grab your blocks if you need them. Inhale, find some length. And then on your exhale, forward fold. Stay for a cycle of breath. On your next inhale, we're bending into the right knee, grounding down through the feet, lifting up. On your next exhale, release the hands down, interlace. Inhale, open the heart, stay for a breath. On your next exhale, take your humble On your next exhale, take your humble warrior. Stay for a breath. Inhale, grounding into the feet, lifting yourself all the way up. On your next exhale, float it down, step it back, flow through your vinyasa. Other side. Bringing left foot forward, coming into your pyramid pose, straightening through the knee as much as is available. Exhale, forward fold. On your next inhale, bending into your left knee, lifting yourself up, warrior one. On your next exhale, release hands down. Inhale, draw length, stay for a breath, open the heart. On your next exhale, coming forward, humble warrior. On your next inhale, rise yourself back up, release the arms, lift them high. Exhale, float it down, step it back, flow through your vinyasa. Stay in down dog, 5 breaths. Maintaining and coming back to your long inhales and exhales. On your next inhale, come high on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees and step the feet forward, coming into your halfway lift, flat back. Exhale and fold. Inhale, sink into the knees, lift it up, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, Tadasana. Excellent. 1 breath, 1 movement. Let's go again. Make the breath long. Take a moment, prepare. On your next inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, right arm comes down, take your cow face arms. Inhale, unwind, lift it up. Exhale, other side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release the hands down. Inhale, draw length through the heart. Exhale, forward fold with the clasp. Inhaling, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, lower down. Inhaling, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Right foot forward, pyramid pose. Inhale it forward. Exhale, straighten through the knee. Inhale, warrior one, bend into that front knee. Exhale, release the hands behind you. Inhale, little heart opener, draw length. Exhale, humble warrior. Inhale, bring yourself back up, release the arms, look up. Exhale, flow it down, flow through your vinyasa. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog, right onto the left. Inhale, left foot forward, pyramid pose. Exhale, sink in. Inhale, warrior one, lift it up. Exhale, release the hands behind you. Inhale, draw length. Exhale, humble warrior. Inhale, rise it back up, release the arms, lift up. Exhale, float it down, flow through your vinyasa. Land in down dog, stay for 5 breaths. Inhale, come high on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees and step the feet forward, coming into your halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Sink into the knees. Lift yourself up. And then exhale, Tadasana. Oh, feel the heat building now. Now that we've done one breath, one movement, let's flow through that one more time. You have the feeling. Take a breath. Tadasana. Prepare. On your next inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, right arm comes down. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, other side. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, straighten the legs, arms clasp behind you. Inhale, draw length. Exhale, forward fold with the clasp. Inhale, release the clasp, come into your halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, flow through your vinyasa. Exhaling, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Right foot forward, pyramid pose. Exhale, straighten as much as you can. Release in. Inhale, warrior one. Lift it up. Exhale, release the hands behind you. Inhale, little back bend. Open the heart. Exhale, humble warrior. Inhale, lift yourself back up. Release the arms. Let them travel up. Exhale, float it down, step it back, chaturanga. Inhaling up dog. Exhaling down dog, left foot forward. Inhale, left foot forward. Exhale, sink into your pyramid. Inhale, bend the knee, lift it up, warrior one. Exhale, release the hands behind you. Inhale, draw length. Exhale, humble warrior. Inhale, lift yourself back up, release the arms high. Exhale, float it down. Chaturanga. Inhaling up. Exhaling back. 5 breaths, feeling the heart. Feeling the body. Checking in with the neck. Letting the neck be soft. Gaze can be to the toes, the ankles, the shins. One more breath here. On your next inhale, coming high on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees and step or hop the feet forward. Coming into your halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Lift it up. And then exhale, Tadasana. Take a moment in your Tadasana. as the energy in the heart has settled, let's keep moving. Inhale, lift the arms high. Exhale, forward fold. Make it smooth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, lower down, chaturanga. Inhaling up. Exhaling back. On your next exhale, bring the knees down. We're going to come back into Anahatasana and explore a different arm variation. So coming down on to the forearms, we'll bring the palms of the hands together. And then on your next exhale, lift the hips. See if you can sink the heart down as the hands come up. Maybe forehead can make contact. Elbows are pretty close together here. Breathe. One more breath. On your next inhale, coming back up, you can walk the knees in, plant the hands. We're going to come onto our seats and then on to our backs. Setting up for bridge or full wheel. Releasing down. If full wheel is in your practice, you can come into full wheel. Each time we're going to do 3 total. If bridge is more your style in your practice, either today or in general, we're going to do a different variation for bridge. So we're all going to set up with full Urdhva hands, upward facing bow hands. So all of our hands, the shoulders should be nice and open. We're going to see if we can bring our hands back by the shoulders with the fingertips pointing to the shoulders. If you feel comfortable in your full wheel, when we inhale, you're welcome to go right in. If you don't feel comfortable in a full wheel, we're going to condition and strengthen the shoulders to build the strength to eventually come into full wheel. On your next inhale, come into full wheel if that's in your practice. On your next inhale, if you're coming into bridge, lift the hips up. Come up to your max. Take a breath here. On your next inhale, ground into the hands and see if you can just lift the shoulders up, starting to condition the shoulder strength for 3, 2, 1. Exhale. We'll all release down. You can release the hands. If you need to bring the knees into the chest for a counter pose, you can. If the wrists need a little stretch out, you can give them a stretch out. Okay, let's prepare for number 2. So setting up the feet parallel, you can bring them a little bit wider than the hips to give everything a little more space. And then hands come down, fingertips pointing towards the shoulders. You can bring the hands a little bit wider than the shoulders if the shoulders are tight. Okay, prepare. Hug the low belly in. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, stay here. Inhale, ground into the shoulders. See if you can start to lift the upper back up for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, slowly release down. You can release, bring the knees in, release the wrists. If your wrists need a little support, maybe roll them out. Okay, last one. I'm going to come into a full Urdhva. You can choose your prep pose to strengthen the shoulders, or if you want to play. When we inhale, lift up, we're first going to come to the top of the head if that's accessible. And then we'll take an exhale there and then lift all the way up. So if you're coming into bridge, it's an inhale, just lift into bridge, exhale there, And then inhale, ground into the hands and start to lift a little bit more of the back up. Okay, let's go. I need to reposition my clip. Okay. All right. On your next inhale, we're lifting up. Exhale there. And then inhale, either ground into the hands or lift yourself all the way up into full wheel. We stay 5 breaths, maintaining those long inhales and exhales for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, tuck the head in if you're in full wheel and slowly come down. Take any counter pose you need, maybe hugging the knees in, maybe rolling out the wrists. Good. Okay. Bring the knees in if they're not already. We're just going to start to settle here. Allow the femurs to ground into the hip sockets. Femurs are the top leg bones. Allow your energy to come down. Those heart openers are deeply energizing and can bring up a lot. So start to come into the body again. Coming back to your parasympathetic nervous system. On your next inhale, we're going to curl the head up towards the knees and curl the tailbone up, making ourselves into a little ball. And see if you can start to get a little momentum, rocking and rolling, and eventually making your way all the way back up to your seat. We're going to roll over the shins or swing the legs around, setting up for Shirsasana, our headstand, or headstand prep. I'll walk you through it. So coming down onto the hands and knees, taking a moment here, pushing those shoulders away, protracting those shoulders. This is what we want shoulder stand to feel like. We want lots of space between the ear and the shoulder. We're engaging the lats to pull those shoulder blades down. Okay, let's prep. So coming down onto the forearms, you can test your distance of your forearms and elbows by grasping them, and then make a little pocket in the hand, interlacing the hands. And then when you're ready, you can walk the knees in. We want to gently set the top of the head down. Now check in with your shoulders. Are they collapsing and everything falling in? If they are, lift them up. If this is a lot of work for you, you stay right here, working on lifting the shoulders, barely having the head touch the ground. If this feels pretty good, tuck those toes under and lift the hips up. And again, check in with the shoulders. If you've totally collapsed, you're going to stay here, just lifting up. Your next step is maybe the feet walk in a little bit more, and then check in with the shoulders. Maybe one knee can come in. Make sure the shoulders are away from the ears, really engaged. And then maybe you switch it out. If all that feels really good, your shoulders feel strong and you're ready, you can come all the way up into your headstand. Checking in. Finding Sthira and Sukha wherever you're at, whatever phase of headstand. Build that shoulder strength with intention and focus. A couple more breaths here. On your next exhale, slowly, gracefully, we'll all release into Balasana, child's pose. On your next inhale, slowly bringing yourself back up. Exhale, we're going to release our seats down. If you have a block or a bolster or a pillow, make sure they're nearby. as we come down. And we're slowly, with control, going to lower all the way back down. This time we're going to take a supported bridge pose and possibly work into the quads. We'll play around, see where your body's at. So having your blocks nearby, grounding the hands down now in a more traditional bridge pose. Inhale, lift the hips up. Grab your block. We want to have it nice and sturdy, so maybe the lowest height or the middle height. You can even use 2 blocks and stack them on top of one another to give yourself a little more space. We're going to bring the blocks down right on to underneath the sacrum. The sacrum is that little triangular bone right at the base of the spine where the hips are. So you can lift up onto the toes, give yourself a little more space. I like 2 blocks stacked at their shortest height, but you do whatever feels right. Hands can release down, palms can even be up here to help open up the chest. You can stay here, or maybe you want to extend one leg and then the other, working into the hip flexors. You can stay here, or you can start bringing the stretch into the quads. So your choice is to stay just right here in supported bridge, extended bridge, or you can start to see if you can walk that right foot back to the point where you can grab it, and then keep walking it back until maybe you can flip the top of the foot down onto the mat. And then you should feel a nice deep stretch throughout the quad, probably up through the hip flexor. You might even feel it all the way down through the shin and the top of the foot. Just breathe here. If you're taking the quad stretch, gently release the right side. We'll come onto the left, taking that same progression, walking the foot back, eventually grabbing it, and then maybe being able to flip the top of the foot down. And then settling back in. Being honest and truly assessing the body. If the left quad feels pretty good and the right quad felt good, you can play with both quads, flipping both feet down. It's a pretty deep stretch, so be gentle with the body, honest with the body. Find your edge, but don't go to the point where you hurt yourself. We want to work the edge, walk that line, breathe. As soon as the breath is compromised, that is your honest indication that you've gone too far. Back up, regain the breath, and come back in. One more breath wherever you're at. On your next inhale, gently releasing the feet if they're tucked under. Replanting the feet if the legs have been extended. We're going to ground into the feet, lift the hips, and slowly remove the blocks from underneath you, and then roll the back down. You can hug the knees into the chest again. Give yourself another little rock side to side. All right, let's come into a reclining pigeon pose. So both feet come down. Inhale, extend right leg, and then exhale, we're going to flex through the foot, bend the knee, coming into a figure 4. If this is enough for you, you stay right here. If you can, maybe you can snake that arm under and clasp the thigh. Breathe. have the thigh clasp, you can gently release it, bringing left foot back down. We're going to take this into eagle leg, so fully cross right leg over left. And then release both legs over to the left. You can hold on to the legs and then extend the right arm or extend both arms out to the sides. Take a few breaths. Next inhale, slowly bringing yourself back up, unwinding the legs, planting both feet. We'll inhale, extend left leg high, and then exhale, come into your figure four, assessing if this is where you want to stay, or if you'd like to take it a little deeper, interlacing those hands underneath the thigh, and breathe. On your next exhale, slowly releasing right foot down. Can fully cross left leg over. We'll make our way into eagle twist. Arms can come out to the sides. Maybe right hand wants to hold on to the left leg. Breathe. Winding down. Cultivating pratyahara, that drawing in of the senses as we close. On your next inhale, slowly coming back up. Exhale, release the feet. If you would like one last hug in, you can take that. And we're going to make our way into Shavasana, our final resting pose. Releasing the legs long, releasing the arms long. You can even roll the shoulder blades together, lifting up the heart a little bit, getting a little sway into the back if that feels okay. And then settling in. Allowing the energy to smoothly flow with the breath. Allowing the obstacles that we cultivate in the body, in the neck, and in the shoulders that can restrict the prana to open, to relax, to unclench for this next minute or so, to simply be. inviting a longer, deeper breath into the heart. Open your mouth and let it go on the exhale. 2 more rounds of that. Deep inhale into the heart. Open your mouth. Exhale, let it go. 1 more deep cleansing breath. Inhaling it in. Open the mouth. Exhale, let it go. You can invite some gentle movements into the body. You can wiggle the fingers and the toes. Maybe roll out the wrists and the ankles. You can take a gentle rock of the head side to side for one last neck, shoulder release. If you feel called, you can bend into one knee and then the other, and windshield wipe the knees side to side, waking up the hips and the torso. And then when you're ready, you can allow that to carry you all the way over onto one side. Take a moment there. Grounding into your top hand, using that to help lift you up to your seat. Cross the legs and bring the hands into Anjali Mudra, prayer at heart center. Bow the chin into the chest. Allow your shoulders to soften down. Allow yourself to release the weight of the world that you do not need to bear. We all bear so much more than we actually need. Learn to discern what is your responsibility to carry and what you can let go of to find more ease, peace, and flow in your life. Thank you so much for coming and practicing today. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.
Hello, I'm Mallory Reese. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to practice with me and give back to yourself. If you would like to support my efforts in spreading the healing energy of yoga and infusing that with astrology, human design, the gene keys, essential oils, I would love your support. Down below in the description, you can find the links to my Patreon, as well as links to the props that I use. I do earn small commissions for that, but it keeps me being able to pour my energy into offering all of these free classes for you. So thank you again for your support. I am eternally grateful. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye for now.